It's okay. And like that, the show has begun. Morning, everybody. It's another week. Animal's having trouble this morning, and thank God you're able to make it.
Yeah.
Oddly, she lives in a very nice country, not third world country, and she was having internet issues this morning.
I didn't. My laptop did.
Yay.
My phone was connecting just fine. My laptop was like, there's no Wi-Fi. Like, it's right here. Connect, you fucker.
I'm so old, I can't recognize internet.
And StreamYard is a whole other issue. When it doesn't load, it does that to me sometimes. It gives me a gray screen. I sent it to both of you guys.
Gerry, I have to pull a Brie Larson on you. Is this a personal attack or something?
What? Oh, it's an attack on Mexican internet.
He was attacking Croatian internet when I was living there, and rightfully so.
This is what it looks like when Martin is getting on the internet in the morning.
Dragon!
Is that Rain of Fire?
No, that was Dale Dye's movie debut in the movie Invaders from Mars, 1986.
Cool.
Because I was so excited they remade the film and actually gave a shit. And it was by a director I liked. And because the first film scared the shit out of me as a kid. Because it's I like sci-fi, horror, or horror in any, whether it's subgenre, whether it's slasher or what have you, where children are in peril. It's always been one of my favorites. One of my favorites also as a kid. My brother, Stephen, took me to the Charleston Drive-In to see Cat o' Nine Tails with Tony Franciosus and what's his name from Streets of Salmon? Carl Malden and his granddaughter. I don't know who the hell the actress was, but my God, that movie scared the shit out of me as a kid. Rambo, I have but one thing to say. King Cobra, King Cobra. We were talking about it for the show because Martin was complimenting his skill of capturing cobras, and I'm like, he was trained. He trained hard to learn how to do that for real.
You better train hard to do that.
Yeah. What a risk.
You don't want to fuck it up. Even though one of the first things that I remember learning in herpetology from Jim Woodward is cobras are slow as fuck. They're not like pit vipers that coil and then do that. Cobras fall on their prey. They get up high and then fall on them. So that's why it's so easy. Like cats get away from cobras all the time because cats are just always faster than snakes, even pit vipers. Their reflexes are insane. If you've ever watched videos of cats escaping snakes, go watch that on YouTube. It's incredible the speed that they have.
I shall not.
Good morning, Penny. Who's all here? We got I saw Scribe Light.
I had a nightlet for you.
Oh, Deleted Scenes is here. What's up, buddy?
You have your
Scribe like.
Hi,
Good
Deleted.
morning. Penny. And D. Bud Martin is here. I was kind of expecting some of our buddies from Toxic Tuesday. They said they wanted to join, and I don't think they're morning people.
Yeah.
I think they're liars.
This. Penny's our official cat interpreter.
Feed me.
Yeah. See, I just did. They had treats because Loki's blood sugar was at 51. So they had massive treats before.
So I got a feeling that what Penny's saying is that cats are looking to snakes to feed them, only to have to fight them.
Yeah.
Is that what she said?
Could be.
Yeah. Are you going to feed me? No? Okay. So I'm going to call somebody right now.
Delete it. Delete it. I will send you the link directly. It's strange because I sent it to all the groups.
All right, I'm gonna call
You
it.
should be at least in one of these groups.
Just real quick, I guess one thing I
Yeah,
love about this movie,
don't get it.
you could never have seen Rambo before, and you'll still dig this movie. You could parachute into this movie with no knowledge of Rambo. They give you everything
That's
you
what
need
I
to
did
know.
yesterday.
You get all the backstory you need. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, what I love is that if you've seen Rambo 1 but got lost
No?
somewhere in these sequels, it just sort of like all you need to know is there's this guy, he has these skills. We saw Rambo 1, we know like he's kind of, lives in like a gray area. He's got some trauma. But in this movie, it's a natural progression. It's like you can just say, and then some bad things happened, then he did some other stuff. Yeah, you
Yeah,
can
I
just
thought
leave
I
it
was
that
making
way.
a phone call. So
Sorry. Yeah, no, you can just say to yourself, there's a chain of events. There's some missions and some other stuff in the middle. You just leave that to your imagination. And he's like a semi-retired, just kind of a more peaceful version of Rambo. He's doing the things you would naturally assume Rambo from Rambo 1 would be wanting to do this far after Rambo 1.
we're getting away
He's
from
left
people.
America.
Number one, society. He's
Getting
in
out
a
of
world
America.
that he understands. So
He doesn't feel like he belongs in America anymore. He loves it, but he doesn't feel like he's like, you know what I mean?
well,
He feels
after the events of the first movie, he doesn't feel like he fits here anymore. So he wants
still
to be
loves
overseas.
America, but yeah, I think he kind of
doesn't
feels
even-
bad for America. He just doesn't
He
want to be
doesn't
around
even
it.
really care. When he's asked about families, he's like, yeah, father, maybe. So he doesn't even bother to find out if his dad is still alive.
He was so
Hey,
thoroughly
Joe.
desensitized by the combination of circumstances. Some of it is training and at the hand of Colonel Major Troutman, Colonel Troutman, at the hands of Troutman, and the things that happened when he was on those various missions. Colonel, all right, he deserved to be a colonel. He was a great man. And that was that performance sells that movie, that first movie. Stallone is great, but Troutman is amazing.
And sadly, Troutman died 3.5 years
Right.
before they made the movie. He was written into the film, but they changed his scene for that minister to come in.
We have an echo.
That's
A
too bad.
little echo.
I'm not hearing it. Who's it from?
Hey, hello, deleted.
You are echoing, Gary.
Maybe deleted.
I'm only hearing it from you.
Hello.
It sounds almost
Oh.
like what we would call
Hey,
natural
Steven.
reverb, or empty room kind of sound.
Are you
That's
still
what you're
hearing it?
alluding
Because
to?
I'm muted.
No, I
You
don't
have to
hear
talk.
anything.
Now I didn't hear it from you.
You
Good,
have to
good,
talk
good.
when I'm muted.
We're talking.
Yeah,
We are
which one of
talking.
us?
I'm talking.
Hefe, which one of us? Okay, yeah, he is a semi-retired
My goodness.
deletion machine. Rambo's still very dangerous, but the thing is, he kind of wants to be left alone.
Look
He's
at them. We're
not
just gonna deal with the echo.
volatile. He's not volatile. He is dangerous. He's always going to be Rambo. He has skills.
Good morning, Dragon Ruse. Good morning. John Ostains is here. And good morning, Vinkman's Girl. Are we still getting the echo? I'm not getting any reports.
No.
No, it's
I
gone.
would call it more
No.
like
No.
like, if anything, there might be the affect of being in a larger room, or like that kind of like reverb almost, but not true. It doesn't sound.
I blame Martin only
like,
because it's
doesn't
messing
sound.
with Martin's
It doesn't
fun.
sound technical. We have a case of the Mondays on Military Monday.
Well, see, I heard a slight echo too, so it couldn't be just from me.
I have all my echo cancellation technology on, so hopefully it's not me. And I'm muting when I'm not talking.
Well, I'm not hearing any echo.
Yeah, I
Welcome
don't hear it
aboard
either,
Deleted.
no.
Hi, buddy.
Okay,
Hey, Stephen.
good to see you. How am I sounding? I'm not echoing, am I?
No?
You sound 5.5
Okay.
to me.
Good.
Yeah, you have everything. Everybody has echo cancellation turned on now.
It sounds a little more clear. If there was anything going on, it seems cleared up now. We never get a true read in the headphones. It's always kind of ideal. And
Yeah,
or
you're
exaggerated.
cutting out right in your last word.
Me?
Yeah,
I might be hitting the mute a little early. Is it happening now?
didn't happen just then. Nope.
Yeah, I might be hitting
Nope.
the mute a little early.
Yeah. Let's see. So, Rambo has, this film massively impacted me right at a time when I was working in comics. I just lost my job with working for ACR and Alley when the film came out. The economy took a dump and I got laid off, but they immediately hired me back as a contractor. So, and one of the funny things I did is I doubled my pay. Whenever I worked on something for them, I charged double what I would have charged them when I worked for them. And not to be mean or anything like that. It's just I knew I had to make my living. But eventually they went out of business because, the economy took a shit in 2009. You guys remember how bad that was. And so IDW kind of stepped in and helped me a lot. That's why I'll always, and I don't owe it to the company. I owe it to the people that were in charge at the time who aren't there anymore. Chris Ryle, Ted Adams. Tom is the only one there, and I'll always stand by Tom. As much as I kind of shit on IDW or some of the decisions they've made, Tom is a solid dude, and he's always been there for me. But I'll probably never get to work for IDW ever again. I got my G.I. Joe cover last year, and that was the end of our relationship. I saw that as sort of like the what do they call that when you break up with somebody and then still have sex with them? It was that one moment. So, is what it is. But I've also been critical of some of those decisions publicly. So I know I screwed my chance of ever working with them again. One of those great movie franchises where the sequel does justice to the original. In fact, I would say I go from First Blood to Rambo. I don't like Rambo 2 or 3. I'm not a fan of those films. I know they're
Second and
important.
third Blood aren't as good.
I know they're important to some people because it leads to, but for me, Rambo 4 is, or Rambo is the sequel to the first film. Because that's John Rambo. He didn't have to pull his fucking shirt off.
Yeah.
Walk around all oiled up. That annoyed the shit out of both those films.
I noticed that like
It was
halfway through
first-
the movie. Hey, he hasn't taken his shirt off yet. That's weird. Gerry was like, thank
In the
God
first-
he didn't.
In the first movie, we get such an interesting hero, and then they just take a left turn with him in the second one.
Well, in the first film, he's almost an anti-hero because he's in, even though they shot it in Canada, it was supposed to be up in Oregon. And so he's like doing what he's doing in the United States. Well, he's doing what he's doing in the United States, and that bothered him. And it's the only time it happened, and it should have been the only time it happened. It was him versus American cops.
bad American cops,
If I
but
may.
yes, and Dennehy is great in that.
There's one bad American cop, and there's a cop who's in the gray area. The bad cop dies. He's, in fact, the only fatality in the film. Is
We got
the fucking
one
asshole.
particularly bad cop. Yeah,
He just loves
police
what he's
chief
doing.
He's deeply misguided. He doesn't have a very professional police force. That's his sin.
Yeah,
he's a lot like the sheriff in Unforgiven, except not as quite as cool.
yeah. But his character is also
Unforgiven. It's a piece of shit.
is a typical
But he's got like
guy who doesn't know how to
really
back
cool.
down. Dennehy's character doesn't know how to back down.
Yes.
And he doesn't know, because his opportunity to stop everything was after the fatality. And they could have just stayed outside the park and waited for him. But he pushed it. And that's the where he screwed up as a character. And once the National Guard got there, the governor got involved, there was a problem.
I just feel like
And
it was such a
it was
believable
outside his hands.
size conflict, though. But for a man of Rambo's
If I may.
capabilities, this was a believable conflict in one. That's all I wanted to say. Sorry.
Yes,
Go ahead, Martin.
yes, it was. Now, if I may, in defense of Rambo 2, he has strangely some good lines that shed more light on his position, his ideas, his state of mind. The action, yeah, it's ridiculously over the top. But pay attention to his dialogue. Yeah, there are points.
What little bit of dialogue there is, because so much of it was removed from this film,
The only thing
or from
that
the
made
original
sense in-
film.
The only thing that made
No, I'm
sense in
talking about
Second Blood is yes.
The two.
Yeah. Yeah, he's talking about First Blood. I'm sorry, the first one to be called Rambo. We have First
Now,
Blood
I'm
is the
going to
first
point
one.
out
so-
that this is important to note that a lot of this video footage at the beginning of the film is real.
as in archival.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Wow.
yeah.
That is cool. Oh, I
Burma's
remember the beginning
a
of this.
scary, scary place. What?
Yeah.
Martin, you were saying something?
Now, it's not cool. It's horrifying.
It's
but
horrifying,
I do
which is
believe
why
that-
he picked it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they did
I-
research on
I
the
believe-
wars going on and picked the most fucked up one to make the world pay attention to what's going on there.
Yeah, it was.
that is
he
the
looked
most
for.
fucked But in actuality, the most longest civil war is Colombian. That shit's still going on, and it started before this one.
Well, part of the problem was when
I
you go
hadn't thought
back
of that,
to
but
the
you're right.
previous Rambo films, you know what he was up against. With Rambo 2, it was one of those films where he goes back to Vietnam to rescue POWs who were never released. It was a fantasy, and it was something that I had problems with, and I criticized it. That one and Missing in Action. I'm like, look, man, if there were POWs left behind by making these movies, you're actually potentially killing them by letting it be known that you believe they're there on such a massive level as a movie. That was concerning. But then he did the movie Rambo 3, which takes place in Afghanistan. And in that one, guys that we know are not good guys are made out to be good guys in the movie. And I'm like, I had problems with it then. I'm like, this is terrible.
The Living Daylights makes the same
Well-
mistake, right?
Well,
They work directly with the Mujahideen, and they're less problematic
At the
than the Taliban.
Okay.
yeah, but at the moment, the Mujahideen were seen as freedom fighters only. At the
They
moment
were.
in
They're
which the movie
anti-Russian,
was
yeah.
made.
In the context of Living Daylights, they're anti-Russian fighters.
Yeah,
And so, with us being anti-Russian, they were perfect, you know, to have in there. But history doesn't play well for those two movies, in my opinion, and that's why I just don't like them.
Do you find that you need to explain to people beneath the age 30 that for a really, really long time, everyone was told that the number one threat were the people who were bossed around by the Kremlin, and that we were taught to like really distrust them in our generation? A lot of people don't realize that. Like, people express shock when I say that. It's like, you don't understand. My generation, we were told that they were.
They're
really
less of a threat
dangerous
today than they were, and
They'll
that's
never
why, you
not
know,
be.
with this rush to attack Russia, I'm just like, I'm not in a big hurry, because Russia is a corporation now. Russia is focused on money,
Like the mob.
and we're in economic warfare with Russia. And you know, some people are going to die occasionally, but nothing on a larger scale. The ones we need to be concerned about are, well, really, it's China. China is our greatest concern. And when people go climate, and I'm like, China? If you're worried about climate, get on China and India. Because China
You may
and
have
India are the
invented an
worst
effective new
sinners.
word.
Oh, what?
Man,
China?
I think you have coined a new term.
Klina.
Kleina.
And also Chindia, to express India and China working together to be massive polluters.
Yeah, and India is a good country. It's just, man, they've got problems over there.
They're just
So-
running 18th century level of pollution without any sort of mitigation is what it seems to be the case.
This is an intense, the opening of this film, God, man. The beginning of this film, a little bit in the second act, but the third act is crazy. Intense action. By the way, Sorality is here. Cool topics, sitting back and just listening. Good to meet you, Sorality. I've never met Sorality before. New listener.
Nice to see you.
Or new name.
No, it's from.
It's from deleted scenes.
Yeah.
Chat.
Joining us.
Oh,
live.
deleted.
Can someone
Actually,
refresh my memory? Rambo's kind of happy here, right? He's found like his rhythm. This is where he needs to be.
I would put it
Sort of
as not
easy.
happy. I would put it as a
I-
sense of satisfaction. This is what,
He's
you know, because I talk about this all the time about
non-unhappy.
old warriors. You know, people are soldiers. We don't really care much about happiness. Happiness is fleeting. What we're looking for is that satisfaction in life, to where we can feel at ease.
Oh, he's a Shane-like character in the local area, I'm sure, but that's about it. You know what I mean? Like, he's happy.
He
doing
pulls
this.
up the Shane thing at the end of the latest Rambo, the last Rambo film. That is absolutely a Shane ending.
Now,
He's analogous to Shane in so many ways.
I don't feel that he's not even satisfied. He look at his interaction. He gets back to the village in the boat. His two friends are playing with the snake, and he's the party pooper. He walks right to them and takes the snake from them and put it in the bag, and the other guys are like, there's no fun. Then goes to the village. The guy pays him for the snakes, and he says, "Fuck off." Then the missionaries come, and he says, "Fuck the world." He's not in a good place.
He's not happy, but it works for him so far. He's making it work.
No, he believes that because what makes him go is remembering the words of Troutman. You will never be at peace with yourself until you admit what you are.
Maybe what I'm
And get
maybe
used to
I
it.
And
agree
that
with
is
that.
when he decides, I'm going.
Maybe what I'm trying to say
He's
is
trying
this is
to.
Rambo's version of happy.
No, he's
Yeah,
not
it's
happy
a
because he's denying to himself his true nature.
It's
Yeah,
okay.
once
Maybe
again,
I'm a movie
I'm
out of
still going to
sync.
put in the word satisfaction, because that's all you got to do. To find satisfaction is become comfortable with yourself. Happiness is always fleeting, because you get moments of happiness. It's like clarity. You don't always have it all the time. It's moments of. And I know warriors, and they tend to look for satisfaction in life. You know, that not so much even comfort, just to feel at ease. And he is in his element.
it's a state of non-antagonism we don't usually see this character in. He's not being actively harassed by anyone at this moment.
Nope, he's able to find ways of using what he does and who he is. And he's away from the stress of things that stressed him out. Now, this place has its own kind of stress, but he seems to be comfortable in that stress.
That's something
As
he can
good as it
deal
gets, this seems to be like an as good as it gets he can live with, right?
That's what I
Yeah.
meant by he's making it work.
Yep.
Yeah.
It doesn't make him happy
He
or
understands
anything, but
his
it's working.
limitations. He'd be happiest to be able to go back to America, but in his heart, he knows he can't, is my feeling.
Yeah, and this is something, by the way, Animal backed me up on this. This is something I say to her. I don't believe in finding happiness. I don't think you can. I think you can find satisfaction in this life. That if you're pursuing happiness, you're never going to find it.
On his best day, he still spends an hour or two
I
thinking
just
about.
stumbled into it.
I don't think even on his best day, there's not an hour that he doesn't not an occasional hour where he doesn't think about the other guys in was it Delta Squad or whatever he's the Baker Squad? They're all gone, sir. Like he thinks about those guys, man. Like that's still with him.
And here we have the scenes that
Obla!
went perfectly with
Obla!
this moment.
Isn't he in a movie called Cobra?
Yeah, it was his.
So perfect.
It was based on his
Yes.
script that he wrote for Beverly Hills Cop, because he was one of the first actors set to play Axel Foley.
It wasn't going to be a comedy.
He wanted it to be, Cobra
Thank
is
God
what he wanted.
it didn't went that way.
Yep.
Hey, we got 2 movies for the price of 1 now.
Yeah. Pretty much.
One good and the other very bad.
Sylvester
Speaking of
Stallone
bad,
learned the hard
Martin,
way.
you are roboting.
So one thing
No,
that's
you
interesting
are
is this one
robotic.
missionary. You are robotic a bit, but so this missionary guy, the fiance, he's an interesting character because he has an actual arc in this story. This guy right here,
Mhm.
he has a character arc in this story because he's one of those typical violence is bad, violence doesn't do any good, blah blah blah. And my first response is like, tell that to every rescued Jewish person from Europe during World War II. Tell them violence wasn't necessary. And I will agree that violence is only necessary in special occasions. But once you make the decision that it's required, use it to its full intensity. What was that hack lines? You're the disease, I'm the cure. You're the disease, I'm the cure. Yeah, I remember that
Violence
line.
is not good, but it can be necessary.
Yep.
Especially for a good
Hey,
action
Crazy
movie. If
Frog's
that guy
here.
had his way, we'd have no movie.
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, amphibian.
Crazy Frog.
I got
It's a
this
little like-
Rambo confused with Rambo 2. This is the one where the boatman saves the ridiculous missionaries. Those missionaries are real. And the way that they conduct themselves in this film are the way these people think. We've been dealing with this problem for a long time, and I'm going to be talking about that on one of the, it may be a Saturday show, and it may end up being a Military Monday. It's the movie Sand Pebbles, directed by Robert Wise, the same man that
Great
directed
movie.
Star Trek: The Motion Picture. Because in that film, Steve McQueen and his captain are dealing with the frustration of missionaries, and how they
Captain
just
Colonel
don't
Troutman.
understand what they're getting into, and worse than that, the danger they're putting everyone else in by doing what they're doing. They think they really do believe in what they're doing, and believe me, they have the best of intentions, but and they don't even waste time in this. The minute these missionaries get to their point It's a point of no return for most of the people involved, because they witness firsthand what this military group does. And this film shows the ugliness of Burma. And I got to tell you, this movie led to the change of the name of Burma to Myanmar because of this film.
Forbidden in that country.
Really?
It's forbidden in that kind of forbidden. And more than that, the rebels in Burma, Myanmar, use the line he uses when he draws the arrow back on the Brit.
Oh,
The bitching Brit. The bitching Brit.
Something.
By the way, just the Sand Pebbles. Anyone wants to see
Or
it?
Live for
Colonel
Nothing.
Troutman's in that one too. He's got a great role in Sand Pebbles. It's amazing the journey.
Wait,
that
Yeah, I
character
brought
goes
that
on.
up to the Anima that it's so funny. He's again set against the main character, Steve McQueen. And Steve McQueen is your typical anti-hero. He just wants to fucking do his job and be left the fuck alone. And Krenna won't leave him alone. He keeps fucking with him.
And then the movie
okay.
has a little trick
Let
up its
me answer
sleeve because by the middle, sorry.
Now, you guys are talking over
Yeah.
each other pretty bad, and I think it's because
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's a buffering.
I think it's both of you. Martin's having issues too.
Oh, you don't have an idea. My computer is walking at the pace of a turtle. Okay. Open. Open is a coward. The doctor isn't. The doctor believes in his ideology until he
I
gets
agree
to
with
the
you,
point in
because
which
Upham
he has
is
to
a
act.
coward. Yep.
Is he? Is Upham a coward? Was he
Yeah, I
called
think
on
he
to
is a
do
coward.
stuff he
Open
wasn't
is a
trained?
coward.
Isn't he just a very
Every
green
soldier is
soldier?
trained. Every soldier is trained. That's like the statement about Marines. Every Marine, no matter what your MOS is still a Marine. Same thing in the Army. You may not be a great soldier, but you are trained.
He was too subpar. He was too
The coward is
subpar. He never should have been in the army, in my opinion.
the cowardice of Open is revealed when Mellish is being killed and he does nothing except crying against a wall.
That bothers me, but I don't mind when he smokes the German at the end. It's like, fine.
And so many people make the mistake of thinking it's the same German. It's not.
Was the German that surrendered? Yes, it is. He is.
It doesn't matter if it wasn't the same
The
German.
one
That
he
guy
smokes
said he
is
wouldn't
not the
mess with
same
him again.
one.
Look,
Really?
My boss worked on the film.
No, I'm
telling you,
absorbing
it's
the
not
shot.
the same actor that he smokes.
Yeah.
It's a different German. This is a common mistake. There's even videos on it on YouTube. It's not the same German. It's a different
Good
actor.
Mandela effect.
I just realized I've been unsubbed to PCM. Oh, I do not like hearing about that emotionally unstable amphibian.
Yeah,
It happens to
this
even us.
Real thing.
We're not
it
as big
happens
as
quite a bit.
we're not as big as Doomcock and the other guys, but it's happening across the board, and it's happening most often to controversial channels that piss off YouTube or its employees.
It's so easy to piss them off, though.
If you cross over the bad word count matrix or something, they start coming after your subs. It's very
It's not
unfortunate,
just
and it
that.
makes us
It's-
work twice as hard.
We
Christian
talk
is here.
military
Good
stuff.
morning,
They don't
Christian.
like that.
Yeah. Christian, I hope you're having a good day. Bonjour to you, my friend.
Hello.
Bonjour, mon ami. Bonjour.
bonjour, Christian.
It's good to see you, Christian.
How could you forget the
Oh.
most dread?
Got errands to run, leaving window open on laptop. I hope you're able to still
Thank
listen
you.
to us, Penny. I don't know if you heard me, Penny. I'll repeat it again. I hope you're able to hear us the rest of the show. All of us talking
I think
over
what
each other.
She's going to be AFK. Right. The one he shoots is the one that they meet earlier because he taunts him. But I was under the
I'm
impression.
done talking. I'm done talking about it. We're going to stop now. It's not.
Oh no,
It
I
is
was
not.
answering the comment.
It is not.
No,
This is
I'm
it's a
admitting my
misnomer.
ignorance.
people who think that it is are making a mistake. And there are YouTube shows that explain to you that it's a different person. But I've got it from the man himself, Dale Dye, that it is not the same actor.
Well, then how did he recognize
on
him
the
then?
mercy of the jury here.
He recognizes one person. What he recognized was what the guy said. We got no subtitles. He knew what the guy said, and he smoked him.
Well, the guy says,
it's pure
"Open,
vengeance.
it's me."
Then. It's got-
That's the line.
I don't know what you said, Martin.
He
It was all
says,
broken up.
he says, oh, okay. The German says to his comrade soldiers, "I know him." And then he approaches him and said, "Open, open, it's me."
Yeah.
And then Open shoots him.
You have to fucking go pull this scene up.
Here it is. Here it
I'm
is.
talk about my book and fucking Rambo, and you guys have started something today.
Well, I think the confusion here is that it's simply
Okay.
not the German who kills Mellish, is it? That's what
No.
we're saying.
Let's
No,
That's
the
what you're
guy-
saying. Yes,
The guy who killed Mellish is a different guy.
that's
No,
But
it's
the
the
guy
same.
that
the
Upham
confusion.
shoots is the guy they let go.
Yeah,
No,
Upham
it's-
shoots
no,
the guy they let go.
The guy who killed
Yeah.
Mellish is the same guy that they let go. At the point in which
That I
he
didn't
kills
know.
Mellish, yes, he killed Mellish. Get down the stairs and passes besides Open. He looks at them, they look at each other's eyes, they recognize each other, and the Germans go.
No,
And
no,
let-
no. Martin,
let's
listen to me.
Open leave.
Martin, no. Listen. All right, the guy that they let go, who's referred to in the credits as Steamboat Willie, the guy that they let go, the guy the guy who shoots Miller, and the guy who Upham at the end kills, that's the same guy. The guy who killed Mellish, that's a different guy. But everybody thinks it's
Okay.
the same guy. It's a different guy.
Oh, okay. Let's give it a rest. Let's
Are
continue
they
with Rambo.
together
And
when Mellish
after
dies?
the show, we see the movie.
Yeah, I'm glad I own that one. I'm gonna have to watch that and keep score.
Let's continue with Rambo.
Is Steamboat Willie at the scene of the crime when we lose Mellish? Is that part of the confusion, or is he? He simply doesn't.
Oh,
He's
no,
not the
what
killer,
did I
but
just
he's
say?
there.
It's not the same guy.
Come on,
They're both.
let's
all
give
right.
it a rest.
Yeah, guys, let's
I was just
please
asking about his
go back
thoughts.
to Rambo.
Moving on.
This is pointless.
This pudding is pointless.
Hey, Joe.
Especially because this is a better movie.
Hey, Joe.
Oh, Joe is having the time. He's having the time of his life with
Yeah,
our bickering.
I'm sorry, Joe.
This is a deeply nerdy conversation, but that's why we're here.
Okay.
Man,
But hey,
this woman
you know.
is tenacious, man. The
Yeah.
poor guy.
She annoys
You again?
me.
Let me
She's so
be.
annoying. She thinks she's being courageous and all ballsy, but all she is reckless.
Yeah, especially with her own life. I'm walking alone in the street of this country at night. I can take care of myself. Yeah, right.
Well,
Your
she
parents
does
may
learn
have
the hard
watched
way.
CNN. Your parents may have seen me hold a blow up half a northwestern town on CNN about 40 years ago.
Yeah. And that is so true. And it's there. That line is setting the stage for the medic, for his fiance, because as I understand, he's the only one that kills anybody. The only one of the missionary group. He kills a guy with a stone. Right,
You
Chris?
think that's why?
Uh,
I
Maybe.
think if I remember correctly, everybody was wrong about yesterday's football game to the point where people were wondering out loud about that Ravens game and the officiating and stuff. Joe agrees. But what the hell did we see there?
Man, there is a moment.
Something is not right.
Hey, Monkey Jeebus. Okay. Man, just what do you think? She finally understood? No. She throws at him the Uno reverse. And it worked.
You also get the idea. It doesn't take much for Rambo to be sort of semi-content here. This is a tough life, and he's still like, I'm okay with it. Yes, you did get you got it right, but I think people are actually wondering out loud about the Ravens and wondering out loud about the officiating. See, I said you were wearing the favorite team's jersey, and you tried to deny that.
Yeah.
Roger Goodell calls Joe and gives him the scores. Get Joe on the phone about 11 o'clock on Sunday morning and put in your wagers if you can. He knows. We also review bombed the Jets season, but that's another story.
We need to put Jack Nicholson boys in this scene. I think about a man.
What?
It's the same actress.
As good as it gets. Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Julie Benz. Oh, and she was Darla in Buffy and Angel.
Yep.
Well, and there you have the look of I gotcha. She knows she pressed the right button.
That Niners game, do you think hard liquor is selling well in Detroit today? Niners Chiefs again. Whoopee, what an exciting matchup.
There they go. Man, I don't know if it's going to be in this slideshow, but there's a line that is not in the theatrical version. She starts to talk to him, and then the guy Michael he stands up and tells her that leave Rambo alone, and she looks at Rambo and says that in fact they are engaged and and he's a good man, and that single line changes your perspective of the guy, because I was like I was telling Gerry before, without that line the guy is just a cripple. But no, they in fact have a relationship and they're engaged. What is this? Got to agree with Monkey. Stallone really does like the Surgeon General of Beverly Hills from Escape from LA.
He's had a little bit of work. I was looking at his eyebrows myself. They're slightly unnatural looking. It's not crazy, though. It's not horrible. It's not Steven Tyler. Although, didn't the band that did the song Holiday in Cambodia, wasn't that off the album Plastic Surgery Disasters by the Dead Kennedys? So maybe Stallone is just living the dream on that.
Well, doesn't look very dreamy.
This scene annoyed me. She's asking too many questions. And I don't know why he's not shutting her up.
Ah, well, she's the one in the whole group that he can stand. In fact, he only talks to her, and in his eyes, she is calling the shot. In fact, he only asks her what to do. Nobody else.
Yeah, it's that whole thing of, well, she's the one who talks him into going. So I always took it as his way of thinking is my contract is with her. And what she says is going to go. If she wants to go up the river, then I'll take her up the river. If she wants to go back, then we go back. That's the way he looks at it. Yeah. To him anyway, yeah. Michael might have different ideas.
Maybe.
I just love his little brown. I love his little brown water Millennium Falcon. Like him and his boat are there's kind of a cool thing going on there.
Brown water Millennium Falcon.
Like that's what I think they called that's what they called the war on the river, the Brown Water Navy. John Kerry served in that. He got 2 Purple Hearts. So we all know ad nauseam.
Oh man, this scene. He doesn't shut up and get your head
he
down.
tells them they're pirates, and then he has to tell them to shut the fuck up.
And what do? They stand up and speak loudly. God damn it.
So stupid.
I like to call this scene an incident on the corner of F around and find out.
Absolutely.
Yeah, very appropriately so.
You know,
for both sides.
You know, yeah.
I swear I had the light. I swear.
Because you would think for as many times as they've claimed they've gone into the country, they would be smarter than they are, or smarter than they come off at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Right, like they've had like the least eventful, highly dangerous missionary missions ever.
Because my thinking is, you know, you're going to go someplace, do a little research on a place. But if you've been someplace several times, I would expect you to know.
Yeah, 4 times Michael has been here previously. So
is the situation changing without them being aware? Do they lay that out there that maybe things are shifting? The political situation is eroded while they've been resupplying or getting more money or whatever.
The same hell for it has been the same hell for 60 years.
So it's the Cambodia we know, right? Basically.
No, it's not Cambodia.
No.
What's their fiction? What's our country? Is it fictional here?
No, it's
no. Myanmar.
Again.
They renamed the country to Myanmar.
Yeah, well, yeah, but I keep forgetting to call it that.
Yeah, and so does Sly. He's calling them Burmese pirates. No, he's not helping us out. I'm trying to remember. It's like the Myanmar python, right? That's how I'll remember.
And they single her out.
And that's the part where you're just like, oh, no.
Yeah.
How does Rambo found hair products in the jungle of Myanmar?
Mail order. You got it through Amazon.
No. He uses
if you know where to hire.
Ew.
If you know where to
You're
find
gross,
it,
Matty.
maybe you can hire Rambo.
Snake, don't sweat. Oh man, that scene was awesome. You can see the blood pumping out of the wound.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, they really show it. Also in the third act. That is
Yeah,
basically only
I'd say
battle.
when I went into this movie the first time, I was not ready for just exactly how violent this movie gets.
Neither was
I was not prepared because the first movie, not really that violent. I mean, there's violence, but it's not over the top. It's realistic. The second movie is a cartoon.
Agreed.
It's your standard 80s action movie. Three's kind of a melding of the two, I think, violence wise. Until the whole crashing the tank into the helicopter back, they would both be gone. Sorry, but then you get here, and particularly in the third act, and we'll talk about that when we get to it. Austin is saying, I think this is the most violent of the Rambo movies. Oh, for sure.
It's the most brutal.
Yeah,
He might not have the
it
highest
is
body
the most
count.
brutal.
He might kill
However-
less people than he does in
however,
Rambo 2,
when-
but
As gory as the third act is, the most brutal scenes come from the Burmese military.
Oh yeah,
The
for sure.
atrocities
Yeah.
that those guys commit. Wow.
yeah, I'd change my name too. It's Schickel Hilter. Hats off to Hot Shots Part 2. I mean, a fantastic movie. Starring the great Valeria Golina from Rain Man.
I enjoyed more the first one.
I like them both.
Don't get me
Emilio
wrong,
Estevez's brother, or
I-
whatever his name is, he's pretty good.
I liked the second, but prefer the first one.
I
Yeah,
skipped
the
2
second
and
one
3.
might have been. Sorry, go ahead, Anima.
So many people say that 2 and 3 are not really good, so I skipped them because I have so much on my watch list. So I went straight from 1 to 4.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're
yeah.
mercifully short, but yeah, I'd agree. But yeah, there might be Rambo movies with higher body counts, but this one's brutal.
I was surprised. But then this is 2007 when they made it, and they just used all the technology they had to be as graphic as possible.
Yeah.
This movie might have overachieved, so to speak, as far as its level of believability.
I don't think so.
Coming down from where we had been with
Oh.
Rambo, it was like smaller stakes,
There's-
really.
There's just one shot that it isn't realistic.
Which one's that?
Oh, in the third act, when Schoolboy snipes out the head of the guy in the patrol boat, his head all explodes all right, but the
Oh,
body
yeah.
still hanging to the machine gun. No, that body should have gone flying too. And we have a little. Yes, I get it.
Yeah, it's back.
We'll see.
What is this?
But of course,
What
because
does Rambo have
that
to look
scene.
like? Oh my God!
Go ahead.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
Remember, he's eating a lot of a lot of Burmese food.
Yeah, but he should be used to it by now. He's been there for a while.
You got a bad batch of raw cobra.
Gross people.
Yes, Monkey. That's his double
Yes,
from
yes,
Buffy.
Monkey. It's darling. Yeah.
I didn't know it was her. Wow.
Yes. Oh, she hasn't changed a bit. She must
No.
be a real vampire.
She was so skinny. And by the way, I know where the echo is coming from. It's deleted scenes. When you mute him, the echo is gone.
Oh, okay. Let me kick him out of the studio.
No, just
Just
see
get it
if you
deleted.
could mute unless you're talking, that would be helpful.
Yeah, I don't know. I think this was a bad move. I mean, big boat, better engines, not a fucking drowning machine gun. And he just burned it. No, I will keep it. I will see it as a leveling up.
He likes
Yeah, or
his boat, though.
at least strip it. Yeah, I was gonna say it has a lot of special modifications. So this is his Millennium Falcon a little bit, I think.
I prefer the other one. You can ride.
Grab the
paint
weaponry.
on the sides. You can
I
paint
would
on the
grab
side.
the
Now I
weapons.
have a machine gun.
It would get them into more trouble, though, if they kept the boat. If he kept it. It's a
Oh,
pirate
it
boat.
wasn't.
You don't want to drive around
It
in that.
wasn't. I like it in that scene. He take his knife and throw it into the boat, like symbolizing, I don't want any of this anymore. I don't want to keep fighting.
Yeah, he's done.
Yeah, and then he makes an even bigger knife for himself.
That scene was real, by the way. He was welding that knife, and they only had one night to shoot it. That must have been intense.
In my head, I tell myself that in this whole area, like people who are kind of bad simply disappear and no one really knows why. You know what I mean? Nice people find themselves the beneficiary of random acts of kindness from some ghostly figure. Like Rambo's definitely like setting things right. I don't think he can deal with like bullies. If someone tries to warlord the locals, he might just go after them on his own.
Oh, this scene, man! You see the pieces of people flying off with
Yeah.
with each mortar round.
Pretty insane.
Yeah. Oh man, look at that.
I was looking
Ooh.
away half the
Now-
time, to be honest.
The thing
Well, as we
is,
said, people, this one's brutal.
I understand you want to help, but just going in for 2-3 days, give a little medicine, and then you got out. You don't know the all sort of problems that you have caused to that people, because the retaliation is always worse.
Is the movie's outlook that like they would view this as like really like almost a supernaturally bad thing and be afraid to go back there, and then they wouldn't mess with people too much? Is that what the movie's sort of trying to say? Because he's almost an avenging angel.
No, Stains, that shit happened. It's not. It's not a justification thing. That happened.
No, that's
a lot.
not what he means. That's not what he means. That's not what he means. I think he means they made a point to have it in the movie to justify all the violence. that's coming.
Yeah.
We all know this happened. It's real. And speaking of revenge, it's that time.
Yes. Then give me a second.
Yeah,
Hey, Shanatsky.
Rambo has apologized for that. Yeah, he messed up. On behalf of the city of New York, I accept Mr. Rambo's apology. He's done a lot of good for America. He just made a few mistakes.
Well, I tend to see that he was not there aiding the Taliban. He was rescuing his friend. That was his whole motivation. Okay, and with that, let's go to our Vindicated ad.
Meet the Seattle Vigilante. Like so many comic heroes, this warrior hides his identity. But his identity isn't the only secret he has to keep. After grievous wounds received during combat, Tier 1 operator John Russell begins to recover and comes to terms with his new reality of being an amputee. And as he learns how to use his new prosthetic limb, he finds himself caught up in the bureaucratic red tape that too many wounded veterans experience, the exhausting medboard process. Out of sheer frustration, John takes it out on the criminal scum of the city. But when reality kicks in, John realizes he started something that's having an impact on the greater world around him, and thus has to reevaluate his motives. And moreover, just how far is John willing to go to finish this war he's declared against the criminals in Seattle? And will he even survive? From the creator of IDW's award-winning graphic novel Code Word Geronimo comes a new story about a different kind of warrior, Vindicated Inc., the first of its kind disabled veteran action hero comic. The Vindicated Inc. graphic novel crowdfunding campaign on fundmycomic.com is provided in the description of this video. We hope you become a contributor. Please share this link. Thank you.
And we're back. Come on, people. Did you know that we extend the campaign? So you can all, and if you can, of course, contribute and get your copy. Oh, by the way, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, this was
Hello.
awfully quiet here.
Yeah. Dead air, people. We don't want dead air.
Yeah, don't let the poor audience with me.
Yeah,
They deserve
because of
better.
the buffering. I'm like trying to count an extra Mississippi before I make any contributions because it seems like we're all somewhere in time, so to speak. Slightly out of sync.
I know I am. I'm always having a lag.
A Rambo apology. I want to say I'm sorry about the Rambo movie. All we want is for this movie to love us as much as we love it. I like that that he sort of prefers a bow.
So his nightmares.
Like I said, he's thinking about the guys he rattles off the names of in First Blood. He still thinks about them like once a day. He's got a lot of pain. He's got so much pain.
In that
That
sequence,
shit sticks with you.
In that sequence, you can see the original scene in which Trotman kills him at the end of Rambo 1.
So
it lasts like a fraction of a second, but you can see it. Oh, and by the way,
but you know, Rambo 1, the bad guy, or like whatever, the semi-bad guy, Brian Dennehy from Long Island's own Brian Dennehy from Chaminade High School. If he could survive 4 years of Long Island Catholic High School, he could play a really mean person. He'd seen it firsthand. The misguided authority figure was on display for him daily.
Let's not talk about Catholic school because I've been through 8 years of this.
Oh, me too. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I'll see you later at the 12-step program about that one.
Hey, I went to a Catholic school. Wasn't that bad?
While
the
mine
nuns
wasn't that bad, I have a few issues with it.
and the nuns weren't psychos like in Gerry's case.
Oh yeah, Gary had bad nuns in his childhood.
I honestly think my school was the last stop for super crazy nuns in the area that I lived in. They're like, these nuns can't fit in even in the craziest part of New York City. They're like, send them to Long Island. We'll pass them off as eccentric.
That's harsh.
There was only one or two of them were still with it. They might have been way too old to still been teaching. I don't know. It's on the church. They ran that place. They took money. It's not a horrible church or anything like that, but that school was bad then. It's a good school now, from what I'm told.
Right. That line is for Rambo 2. From.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Something that James T. Kirk would say too.
That's true, yeah.
He does look like he had a little bit of plastic
I was
surgery. there,
thinking
doesn't
maybe
he?
I could do a diamond cannon with some bamboo.
What?
Like Kirk. He made
Yeah,
a
he's gonna
cannon
make a cannon
that shoots
with bamboo.
diamonds with a bamboo to fight the Gorn.
I love that in the movie that's a riff on this is Tropic Thunder, when Ben Stiller gets isolated from the other guys and he's lost and wandering around under his rain poncho. He's watching Arena from Star Trek on his iPod, and it's Kirk fighting the Gorn.
By the way, that guy, that one, he worked. It's worth your time to follow him on Twitter. Really based guy.
What's his name?
Matthew Marsden. They tried to cancel him too for having common sense.
That's bad. I don't
Well,
follow
I see
actors
him.
though on Twitter. The only one I follow is Shatner because he's a legend.
No, I follow Shatner, James Wood, this guy, and used to follow Animal Mother till he left.
The
Oh,
Supreme Baldwin.
Adam
he's-
Baldwin.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the Supreme
Yeah,
Baldwin.
he's
He's
the
not doing social media
non-Baldwin
anymore.
Baldwin.
I like that.
Well,
The only
think about what he
Baldwin.
would have. Alec Baldwin really ruined that for him because his bio would have to be he never accidentally shot anybody on set.
Yeah.
I'm actually the guy from the X-Files. I'm not who you think I am not related. He would not be able to talk about himself except to be like, please understand, I do not know and have not met. Never been accused of stealing money from a charity. I've never beat up any paparazzi. I'm not related to those guys.
You see, even now, Jeebus messes with my accent.
Oh, he's
I'm
also
telling you,
messing
man.
with me. Or
I'm
he's-
telling you, man,
he
there is no
is-
respect.
I think Full Metal
Come on,
Jacket
Wade,
might
you
be
can do
my
better.
favorite one.
Yeah, that's lame. Wait.
I'm not going to fall into another trap like Tom Connors laid for me the other day, but I do think that Full Metal Jacket
It's so
In my
easy
heart,
to fool you,
is a
Teague.
he sucked me right in and blew me up. Yeah, he's like, I can't believe you're saying something like that. King Kong is a seminal classic. I'm like, I'm not saying it's a bad movie. I'm saying it's just like there's other Kong iterations I find more fun. Like it's everything you say.
This guy, man, that guy is a mad dog.
I gotta thank him for at least letting me know he got me later on. Like he let me twist the breeze for just long enough. Like 90 seconds later, he's like, I totally got you guys.
Yeah, I don't even know what that means, Wade.
See, in my position here, like my thought is don't listen to Rambo. He's the only person, like this is his environment, man. He likes being here,
They're
or
so
at least he's
stupid.
content here. Don't tell Rambo anything. Just listen to exactly what he says. Shut up. You're in enough trouble already.
Yeah, but the way they were
Everyone-
talking on the boat, like, look how tough we are, and we've got this, and he's just listening to them, thinking, you fools. And then they insist on him staying behind. They are digging their own graves there.
Yeah, they're breaking a few of the rules that you don't want to break if you want to survive a combat movie. You know, their guns are a little too good. They're a little too sure. They've got plans for later.
Yeah.
You don't do these things when you're aware you're in a war movie. They're not aware they're in a movie. Stallone, however, he's playing by the rules. He's not talking about any plans. This is where he wants to be. He's not going to go back to Philly and open a sandwich shop.
Well, I mean, he even says it in the commentary that he directed the movie as if Rambo himself was directing the movie, and it makes complete sense when he says that.
That's interesting.
I think that's the way. That's the way the movie plays. You are entirely in Rambo's head the entire time.
It took some artistry to resurrect this character and make him thoughtful after some of the things we had seen when they exploited the character in the 80s, just to make, a lot of bucks. The way a Rambo movie or a Rocky movie would just be kind of cranked out. Sometimes they were still great, but this was a neat trick to make us think this way about Rambo.
Okay, Tig, you have a follow-up. Rambo's cheese sticks.
Oh, you know what, man? That would be. Think about how awesome that would be. It's like, we only make them with ham. I get the ham myself on the weekends in the hills by the cheesesteak shop. He drives into the foothills of Pennsylvania and has like that little hutch with the spear. Yes. He's just waiting there for the next pig. You can only make so many cheesesteaks a week. Is that why they're $60?
Man, these guys have very expensive hobbies.
And by the way, Disney, look at this character. Here's what your Boba Fett should have been a little more like. You could have had a Boba Fett who wasn't outright evil and still had him be dangerous and cool.
Well,
I would have welcomed them robbing. Go ahead, Martin. I'm sorry.
I would say Boba was never evil. He just it's his job. If you pay him well enough, I would call him.
In my world, he's
amoral.
Go ahead.
Not evil, amoral.
In my world, he shows up out of nowhere and he just wants to mess with our favorite people. So he was evil to me until the prequels recast him, and then I saw him as, all right, he's somewhat a victim of his environment.
He's getting paid for that. Jabba's giving him a ton of money.
Yeah, but he could have gone out and been like an honest moisture farmer like Owen Lars.
Owen Lars had no money. Boba had money. Rambo finds solitude driving a truck. My God!
That is basically true.
And save his own while becoming a champion in the arm wrestling circuit. Yes, that is.
Yes. Why don't we combine all?
No. That is a Stallone movie.
That's a real Stallone movie. But we should just layer more Stallone movies into this and just see if we can make him into an ultimate all Stallone. He boxes on the side. He's a soccer player who's been a POW.
I love that movie.
Victory?
That just sounds
great. He spent so much time asking, where do I stand up in corners? And nobody tells him until 5 minutes before the game.
It's like, I know you've got Pelé helping you learn how to play this game. Just listen to the man. He definitely knows how to play. Boba Fett was a ruthless SOB. That is until Disney turned him into an old man trying to get into heaven. Yeah, and who had infantile dialogue. It's like, we need water. And it's just like looks around for a moment thoughtfully. I was born surrounded by water. It's like, what the hell is he talking about?
Well, he was born on that water planet, so.
Yeah, no, I know. It's just like it's like an infantile observation of not like it had nothing to do with anything. Like the dispute was over. That guy sold water to the Vespa people. Remember those wonderful characters? And because he's warlord, for apparently nothing, he settles disputes. Remember, they go to him and he's like, they took my water, and they're like, well, we need water, and he's like, I was born surrounded by water, and I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, point taken, but well, what the hell's that got to do with this?
Now, I think this is the only time that I have seen a Barrett fixed with a suppressor, and it's only present in this part. For the rest of the movie, he's not using the suppressor. And man, the first time that he makes his shot and you see the guy flying, I said, "Yep, that is how it should be." Too much energy in one. Well, that thing is not meant to kill people per se. That is an anti-material rifle, so it's to break things, not people.
So it's against the Geneva Convention to use it against people.
I don't know if the Barrett is against using the Barrett against people is against the Geneva Convention. I don't know that. I know that the BMG that is against the Geneva Convention. The big gun that is the real protagonist of the third act.
Oh, that is fucking brutal.
Yeah.
That thing.
How
That's
to turn people into mist.
Yeah, into hamburger meat.
And it's really dicey because the United States has only ratified some Geneva Convention stuff. There's been like 6 conventions, and we're only signatories of like 4. Like, we're down with landmines. We won't sign that one.
Oh, speaking of landmines, the scene where he shoots the guy and in falling and dying, he hits a mine. Jesus Christ.
By the way, I
Oh,
want to
that's
congratulate
brutal.
Joe's Atmosphere made a correct viewing decision and wasn't a fool like me, so watching it to the end. Yeah, that was probably still past the point of turning it off, but you were right to leave when you did. The
I want to bring up
bikers are damaging.
Mm-hmm. I want to bring up the fact that there's a motif through this entire movie, and that's Rambo using their weapons against them. You know,
right?
The landmines. He uses, the 50 cal that they've been mowing down civilians with. He turns on them. It's like his attitude through the whole movie is, I am going to now make you feel the pain that you've made these people feel. I think that's cool. He's definitely an avenging angel in this, as far as I'm concerned.
I think you're over.
I'm with deleted 100%. No, I'm 100% with deleted. He's an avenging angel.
Yeah, but he's
just used. Yes, that's his training. Use what you have at hand.
Right, but here's the thing: he could have had traditional firearms at hand, but Rambo himself prefers to attack with the bow, and he's a little more like, I don't know if that's because it's so easy for him to do these things that he needs that extra constraint, or he'll be deleting people all day, or if he just has a philosophy about it, they leave it vague enough.
Not philosophy. You two are overthinking it. Just remember,
I don't know. The gun he uses is, as deleted said, they've been oppressing people. They've been bullying people with that gun, and he turns it on them. I liked it.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. That might not necessarily be his plan, because, he goes into this essentially with the bow and with the pistol. It's really all he has. And of course, he makes a new blade out of the propeller.
Yeah, that's
it. That's all he has. But
and then, as Martin said, a few Kirk moves where he creates his own weapon, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man!
But he
the whole rescue scene is
go ahead.
it's harrowing because you can see in Rambo's face and in some of the other guys' faces that they are watching the things that these people are doing and knowing that those people we cannot save. We can only save this group. And you see them like shit.
It's got the dark aspect of late American westerns where they have to imperfectly save just who they can. It's like it's a terrible solution, but everything else is worse. It's all we can do.
It's a horrible choice that they have to make.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like we alone cannot win this war, but we can win this battle. And we got to pick our battles.
Right? If we're not around after this to help anybody, then there's no one to help. This avenging angel must survive. He's a little bit like the Punisher in this, to be honest.
Yeah. Same brutality. I agree.
If you just left things alone, Rambo might not have messed with you. But the people who tried to do something nice, as unenviable as they were, once you mess with them, he's like, ugh.
The Punisher is more over the top, though.
And comes with a lot more ordnance. Yes.
It's comic-like at times. Some of his kills are just over the top, unrealistic. This movie is very realistic.
Yeah, it's
Well, I mean-
tracking back to a more brutal Rambo.
That scene in which he kills the guy by ripping out his throat with his fingers.
Oh god, that yeah. Or the bad guy in the end, he stabs him and then he looks at him and no, he does no, and of course he does. Slits his belly open. By the way, I think the rain is real. They must have shot this during rain time.
I wonder. I don't know where this was shot, but if they did go to like the
Close to-
relative location,
Thailand, probably close to Burma, because they were attacked, they were threatened. I think they were even shot at because they were not happy with
On the
them
set?
making
Really?
the movie. It was dangerous to make this movie.
we just trademarked our national name, and you're gonna come make this movie. Darn it! We have so many Burma belt. Like I went to Burma, and all I got was this lousy T-shirt shirts at the airport, and you're gonna ruin that for.
Man. The scene in which
Anna Marie's python doesn't have the same ring.
hey, Camp comes in the house. Hello, Camp.
Hi, Cam.
Greetings. Joe's got some thoughts on the Punisher. Punisher is a dead ripoff of the Executioner, the Mac Balin pulp novel series, right down to the war van. I bet you're right. Now, did that information come from Roger Goodell, or they should name it Bow Thailand? Bow Thailand. Oh, Bow Thailand. I get it. Thank you, Monkey Jeebus. You got me.
Bow tie.
It's
All
like the
right,
brain gears are like cranking forward unevenly.
Okay. I'm looking at IMDb Pro here. Filming locations were Thailand, Myanmar, Mexico, and Arizona.
Well, yeah. I
The ending,
suppose
yeah.
the ranch at the end.
The ranch at
Yeah.
the end, yeah.
Where he's walking down this endless road all the way through the credits.
This guy. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
I mean,
this
the character. That character
Yeah,
is
he's-
despicable.
he's He's goodness. He was, if I understand this correctly, he was actually like a Karen rebel in actual life, and
Wow.
his family was under threat because he was involved with this movie. But so the thing is he plays this character so well because he's seen these bastards up close. He knows what they're capable of.
I think Joe here is still speaking of the Executioner, the Mark Balin pulp novels. He says he read them. His dad collected them, over 100 books.
That's impressive.
He's sort of the reverse George R.R. Martin. He's Martin R.R. George.
I like this moment because here is when the doctor snaps out of the terror and takes charge of the medical situation.
Yeah, and you actually finally start to like him a little bit too, because he's in his element now. Yeah, he might not know anything about staying out of places he shouldn't be, but when it comes to like a guy getting his leg blown off, he knows what to do. Ordinary people in an extraordinary situation.
Deleted. Do you think it was kind of like a neat trick for Stallone that he tracked back from like the high stakes, high crazy stuff in Rambo back to something more like First Blood, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a neat. I thought it was a neat trick.
This whole third act, which is essentially a long chase sequence, but it's pretty well directed too, because you know where everybody is in opposition to one another. You know where the guys who are going towards it's a hydrogen bomb, right?
No, it's a tall boy. It's a
Yep.
The thing is that bomb is a seismic bomb. It was made to destroy subterranean bunkers by being dropped from very high altitude, and it sticks in the ground, and then it's when it explodes. So the explosion creates a seismic wave that breaks down the bunker. That's why that explosion is so big.
Yeah,
it's a hypothetical bunker buster.
Right?
No, it's not hypothetical. That thing was very real.
The poor choice of words. The literal bunker buster.
Mm-hmm. But my original point was, you know where everybody is in opposition to one another, because you know where the bomb is, so you know that you have the group of soldiers that's heading there. You know where the mercenaries are. You know where the main group of Burmese is. You know where Rambo, Schoolboy, and Sarah are up on the cliff. The point is you can. It's in your head. It's not this jumbled, edited together, where the hell are they mess that you see in a lot of action movies this day. It's like this whole section may seem chaotic, but if you really think about it, it does make sense. It's pretty mathematical. This movie's pretty well directed.
The schematic way of saying it would be, I guess the schematic way of saying it would be, even though people are off screen and out of frame, they're still doing what we would naturally assume, and when we catch up to them again where they are makes sense because the movie keeps track of all its characters. Are you paying attention, Rings of Power writers?
Hey, LDG. Welcome.
We don't talk about that.
LDG.
Hello, LDG. But you know what? Seriously, if that group of writers has problems, it's that they never can manage more than one faction per episode. Yet they introduce like 24 factions, and in 10 episodes, sometimes we only get one episode alluding to them. And then we find out, oh, it was them all along. Those people we mentioned once, like 9 hours ago. They can't keep track of all factions. This movie is able to keep us oriented. Like it's not Whiplash when everybody converges or something like that out of nowhere.
Hello, Klaus von Pope. Pape. I'm sorry.
Hello.
That's a new one.
Greetings.
So I think I haven't seen this name before. So welcome.
Yeah. No, I think it's the second time I have seen it.
Yeah.
Right on. Welcome to the
Maybe
show.
wrong.
Anyway, good to have you here.
Now, as we can see, Mr. Rambo and these gentlemen have continued their altercation.
Disagreement.
Disagreement.
Mr. Rambo has appealed to their sense of reason without any success.
What? Marking my faces. Look, that guy cut in half.
You know what? They're big Funky Bunch fans. These are the former members of the Funky Bunch. This is what happened to them.
Well,
We're glad to have you here too,
Hope
Klaus.
you enjoy the show. We are simulcasting both on Gary's channel and mine, so please give both broadcasts a thumbs up and shout out the stream.
Exactly.
And of course, if you are new and you like what you hear, please feel free to subscribe and hit the bell icon for notifications.
okay. It is where the fun begins.
Yeah.
Man, everybody's shooting at everything. That is a very chaotic moment. Only Rambo and Schoolboy are having a clean look of what is happening.
Oh, they are pros.
No, they are in the
Schoolboy went to
elevated
sniper
position.
school.
They're out of the kill zone. These guys, they are in the kill box.
But a lot of these people are not really trained. They are farmers-made soldiers.
Hmm.
You can't
And
compare that to
here
a
comes
Vietnam vet.
Here comes the rebels.
Mhm.
I like that in this movie. It's not the one-man army trope. Rambo indeed needs help from other people.
That's the only time he teams up, though, right?
The only time what?
In the other movies, he's always the solo fighter. It's the only
Yes.
time that he has a team.
Mhm.
Yeah, they'll give them a map and they'll be like, get from asset A to asset B to asset C, and you'll be okay. It's as much help as he gets. It's almost Escape from New York without the bombs in his neck kind of thing. They're like, here you go. Here's some weapons, and they just drop him out of a plane. It's sort of like what the military wants to do with the velociraptors in every Jurassic Park movie. They're like, this could be a great weapon. It's like, no, not really.
Klaus, we reviewed that movie last Monday. If you can go to your channel's page, you can find it. You're gonna like it.
It's a really good Rambo First Blood surprised
In
everybody because it was so deep. It had some meaning to it below the action movie level. It's like you could think about that movie for a little while.
And this is the only time that these two characters meet in the entire film directly, where they're face to face. It's this one time. And it's almost like the look on Major Tent's face is almost like, wait a minute, who are you? Oh my God, I'm hit. Oh, you saw that, huh? And then he just basically cuts him almost in half. It's
No, yes,
It's-
I like how
Yeah.
both sections of his body rotate asynchronously as he's
it's
rolling down.
yeah. It was up to that point in the series probably my favorite kill. And then there's
Yes.
one in the next one that I think kind of trumps it a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah, this is like a not
However,
so a not so bad like searcherish kind of story for Rambo here.
however, the scene that I liked more was the whole thing with the tall boy.
The
From
WMD, you mean?
yes, from
Yeah.
the tension because he's doing it against the clock, and then running and the size of the explosion. That all the whole scene, I love it. For me, is the not the best. Let's say it's the scene of the movie that I like the most.
Reminded me a little bit of Predator 1.
What? T?
Kind of
Can
got
you repeat that?
out. Kind of reminded me a little bit of Predator 1. You've got like the baddie's
Oh
final play is
yes,
the WMD.
yeah.
It's like the last thing the baddie does is self deletion, mass deletion, to say it euphemistically.
And I like this scene here. Is he finally comes home, and I get it. And well, if we ever get to the fifth movie, I'll go more into it. But I like that he has that moment of doubt. Do I go back out on the road or do I go home? And he goes home, and he deserves it. This is
Yeah,
so
he's earned it with home.
welcome home. He's more than
Yeah,
earned it.
I
Do you think
imagine
he
there
went
would
to
be
like-
some awkward conversation with his father. Yeah.
I just want to
You
see the
blow
scene
up
where
a
he goes.
you blow up a town, Sonny. It's like, oh well, you know shit happens.
I want to see him get off the plane in like some airport in America in his Thai fisherman outfit and just walk over to an airport locker and pull out like the Vietnam era army jacket, the black T-shirt, and the jeans that he just always wears when he bums around America.
Yeah. Man, this movie was. I remember when I first saw the promotion. And I said, "Oh man, another Rambo movie after the third one." But I gave it a chance, and boy, was I surprised.
Yeah, I
really,
consider it a
really
neat trick. I consider it a neat trick to bring Rambo pretty much full circle. And you can kind of ignore what happened in the middle there. It's like, yes, he did some things. There was traumatic stuff in the middle here, but this is kind of more about the guy who came out of movie one. Rambo finally finds peace on the rocking chair on the porch in Last
I
Blood.
don't know.
Yeah, he's getting closer though. There's a journey for this character. It's not the smoothest because there's a couple of moments there in the history of this franchise where it's like there's a lot of money to be made and people in Hollywood love money. You know, Sly, you've got to make us this cash. He's like, all right, I'll go out and do it.
Oh my god, fucking shit. Why?
But thank you, Ostans.
Whoa.
Ostanides. I don't know how to pronounce it. Help me.
John Austin.
Help me, Andrew.
It's Austin.
Thank you.
Okay, what? Hasinaski here? Hollywood love to spend other people's money more than making it. Yeah, right. That sounds about right.
Hollywood is a mess these days.
This movie is
Always.
relatively inexpensive considering what they got, though. This one definitely made money because I don't see it as being high priced, or I'm sorry, a costly film to make, relatively speaking.
Well, they did have to build that whole jungle village. So it's not like totally cheap, but the location was
got it.
probably cheap to shoot at.
Yeah, I've got it right here. The estimated budget was 50 million, and it made 113 worldwide.
So money in the bank because he bought them a movie script that was realistic enough and people could read it. And if you're an executive producer, you're like, this is not a very risky or expensive film to make, relatively speaking. No. Because at the same time, we're making $200 million Marvel and DC movies that are not doing significantly better than this. Dropped in January and made a boatload of movies released that month. Mm-hmm. It's become a good time to drop movies. The big holiday movie holds back movies that are still quality, but no one wants to try to fight for those screens.
Yeah.
February is the month that's usually terrible, right?
Why?
Just so far from anything, and most of America is in bad weather.
Well, that was a good year for him. He released that one and Rocky Balboa. Two comebacks for his most beloved characters.
We saw him doing things that aren't usually associated with Stallone, being slightly artistic. There's some artistry in bringing the Rambo character full circle like that.
Bloodiest movie ever. Rambo wanted to reclaim his kill count from Hot Shots 2.
Do we have a body count for this movie? Did anyone bother to actually count the kills?
It's not insane.
That's your field, deleted.
I believe it's somewhere around 300.
Really?
Wow. Yeah.
That's insane.
But the body count in Rambo 1 is only like 80. I'm sorry, in Rambo 2, the first one to be called Rambo, is only like 80 when he goes back to Vietnam. Yeah. Wow. Okay, so he's pretty formidable. That's his personal baseball card, not just 300 hits.
Yeah, so but I mean, remember, it's not all him now.
Yeah,
it's the mercenaries, it's the Burmese. Michael gets a kill. The Karens, yes. Of course. Everybody kind of kills everybody in this movie. So it goes up pretty
You get a kill. Everybody gets a kill.
So what we got to see here is Rambo comes off the bench and hits for a very high average with power, but he's not the primary deleter of this movie. There's other people doing a lot of deleting too.
It's a lot of
the Rambo franchise. A lot of people have sentiment for the Rambo character. They relate to it. Stallone is a painter. I've talked to a woman who saw his paintings.
I assume. I didn't know that he painted.
I knew that. I read it somewhere. I just never found out about his art.
I would wonder what it is. It would be very strange if it's like, I feel most comfortable drawing women's fashion. You know, I want to know what he draws now. I want to see his art. I'm going to Google it.
No, because there are never two women together.
I like to draw shoes, women's shoes. It's my thing. It looks to be somewhere between Warhol and Leroy Neiman.
Not Leroy Jenkins.
Okay.
He's not terrible. me see if I can refine the
No,
search a little more
he
and make
does
sure I only see
portraits.
things made by him.
Nice. Yes,
It's
he is.
difficult. You need to be good to do portraits.
Yeah.
He's not a realist. He's not a photographic realist.
Oh, do you have anything to show?
When I refined the search, I got the one thing that seems to be indisputably done by him is this piece, Rocky on Canvas, The Art of Sylvester Stallone, seems to be only pictures done by him. So let me drop the URL in the private chat there.
Okay.
And you can take a look at it now. It's in an annoying publication with a lot of banner ads, which I have decided to reject all of. But I would say like he
Holy
has
shit.
an artist's eye and it's interesting, but yeah, it's somewhere between.
Yeah,
I don't want to use Peter Max doesn't work, but it's somewhere between like Liechtenstein
Okay.
and Haring.
Let's have a look at it.
Yes, I'm on it. I'm on it.
I know.
There's a link in the private chat with 2 pictures, 3 portraits, 2 of which you see
Oh.
straight on, and 1 you see him
I
creating.
like
We
putting
have-
Martine under pressure.
Yeah, I know.
He's a-
Thank you.
He's more expressive than you would call him a realist. He's trying to get across emotions here.
That is
Yeah.
weird.
There's some Pollock to his style, somewhere between Pollock and Liechtenstein. It's not exactly. I don't want to say Picasso, but certainly that's an influence you can say.
Yeah.
He's not approaching it. No one. I mean, no, it's not. That's not a diss. Picasso, for God's sake.
Hercules o'clock.
Yeah, that
Refers
is
to the-
not my cup of tea. Paintings like that.
He's neither great nor is he talentless. It's interesting. He's done something with this. It's obviously something he likes to do, but you know, I guess we would need our artists to really assess it. But I don't think he's trying to do anything more than get across an emotion. I don't feel he's a portrait painter. You know what I mean? Or an illustrator.
Yeah, guys, I have to do a little bit of a retraction here. I looking through the trivia section of IMDb Pro, which does contain the final body count of this movie. It's actually 466.
Wow.
Holy shit.
Wow.
Altogether. And it is
very
the highest.
proud.
It's the highest body count of any of the Rambo films. Yeah, I think it's higher
By
than all the
far.
other ones combined.
That
And
must be one of the highest body
yeah.
counts in Hollywood movies ever. Like, that's
probably
crazy.
is. Yeah.
Oppenheimer.
Well, beating
Oppenheimer
actual-
gets 70,000 in 1 second.
All right. Now, another
Sorry,
reference
this
is
kind of popped through my mind. I'm sorry, Lloyd.
when he kills the Burmese commander at the end. This is actually the way that he killed Galt in the book, in the First Blood book. In the book, the guy who falls out of the helicopter.
Mhm.
In the book, Rambo kills him the same way he kills the Burmese commander in this movie.
Damn.
Yeah.
Now, Stallone
Because-
really being true to his character here.
In the book, he killed all the deputies in the forest instead of letting them
World
live.
War Z had a larger body count. Yeah, well, I mean, that's the whole
I'm
world.
sure
yeah.
it did. Yeah.
Okay, the highest body count of any movie then would have to be Planet of the Apes 1, because almost everyone dies between the first and second sequences.
Sounds brutal.
Maybe the day after.
Some people, yeah, Planet of the Apes, we fast forward like what 2,000 years, and there's like a mega nuclear and biological war, and the only thing left is a region that's been raised above sea level around the New York area or the San Francisco area in the second franchise. I'm curious for their next trio of movies where they actually visit the movies we had.
Man, I think Monkey Jibus has a point here. Star Wars will have a bigger body count. They blew up Alderaan.
A lot of people don't want to say this, but most people on Alderaan were on vacation at that time. It was largely a symbolic blow. Dantooine would have been far worse. That was just but they were personally angry at Carrie Fisher.
I think we have to define body count here, because what I mean is the people you actually see being killed. And not just they blew up a planet, so it's millions. You don't see that.
Joe's place his bet here. I don't know. Kelvin Star Trek wipe out Vulcan. Yeah, but Kelvin Star Trek is not
No
real,
humans were killed on. No humans were killed. Those were just Vulcans. Who cares?
Oh yeah. Amanda died.
And we also that we lose one human. We lose beautiful Winona Ryder. But I'll just say, after seeing how Spock acts, are we not better off without an entire planet of people who act that unstable? He has like 3 bipolar breakdowns per movie.
Oh, Chernetsky! The highest body count goes to Zack Snyder. He killed an entire universe.
I'm thinking right now that Force Awakens might be the highest body count because we delete an entire solar system.
Oh, yeah. They did that.
Oh, J.J. Abrams got more cinematic blood in his hands than any single person. And if you're him, it's worked out great. I'm sure his kids think he's awesome. They never watch Star Wars or Star Trek because they think it's garbage. And he's got plenty of time to hang around, and no one wants him doing anything. He's getting paid not to work. By his own matrix, he must have done great.
Wow.
Think about it, an entire career without ever writing an ending, ever.
The never-ending story. that should be the name of his biography.
The never-ending mystery box. Then I realized that I didn't have to pay off the mystery box. I could just introduce a fresh mystery and confuse people.
There you go, Teak. Joe's calling you out.
Vulcan lives. You know what? You green-blooded. You know what? Let's just say Joe's atmosphere. You know, when Joe wears an odd-numbered away jersey, he's been instructed by Roger Goodell about what the outcome of the game is. And when he wears the home jersey and it's an even number, he's asking Roger Goodell what to say, and you can see him looking away during the broadcast where he receives instructions from the NFL office.
Chernetsky, Let me guess. In the second part, Henry jumps from a cliff.
Guys, I think we're done talking about Rambo, so let's get out of here before we go completely off topic again.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me. Well, guys.
But yeah, good, great movie, great sequel. We barely scratched the surface. If anybody out in our audience right now has not seen Rambo 4, check it out. It is an action fan's dream, and it really has something to say too. So, give it a look.
Dig?
This was the last one in the series I've seen. I would like to see the next one because this one does come off so cleanly. It's a nice trick and a little bit of artistry in an action movie to take this character and make us see things more from his perspective and to have grown out the character. And like I said, you can parachute into this one with very little previous knowledge. You just have to know Rambo, dangerous, tough.
That's true.
Anima?
I'm glad I watched it. It is very likely to go on the list of movies I will not watch again. But
well, at least there are no spiders.
There are snakes though, so that's that. No, it's very brutal, but it's a good movie.
Yes,
it is very brutal. That bears repeating. And wow, I didn't realize that he did have such a high body count.
That's pretty insane, yeah. Martin, anything you want to say?
Oh man, I don't know. I think I have said I expressed my liking of the movie enough during the show. I, as I said, I was very pleased, and it was a good surprise for me. I went to the movie without much of expectations, and it's been a repeated view for me throughout the years, and it will continue to do so. I really like the movie. I would like to say what?
I'm sorry. I thought I was muted. I just read what's one of Joe's comments.
Oh,
Jets, John. You anti-Jets propagandist, you.
yeah. So yeah,
I
please,
love it. That's great.
if you haven't seen this movie, please go watch it and pay attention to the lines, especially the dialogue between him and Julie
Oh,
Ben's
what's her
character.
name? I forgot
Yeah,
the character's name too.
uh, he doesn't speak much, but his word carries weight.
Well, he talks through his weapons.
No, that's the thing I disagree with most people. I think the the few lines that John Rambo speaks in all his movies has some depth, but it gets lost into the action. It's a pity from my point of view. And when the oh man, Chernowski, you have to well, we have to say it. Yeah, that line was
We all
Yeah.
has
make
not aged
mistakes. We
has
make
not aged
mistakes.
well.
As far
Well,
as I'm concerned, honestly, the third movie you can pretty much just skip. You don't need it.
Hey, you know what? The people of Afghanistan, I guess they were okay. It was the members of the fucking Taliban that I hate. Screw you
that
guys.
is true.
Hmm.
That is
You
absolutely
can
true.
go get
Good point.
effed, you terrorist bastards. You got what you deserved. Don't make us come back.
Okay, I think it has is this time. Tig, where can we Find you? Oh my
Oh my
goodness!
god, I'm coming back later today. I'm gonna do in celebration of 2 shuttles lost. We're gonna watch The Right Stuff today and remember why we go to space. And
Oh,
maybe
I want to link to
you
that.
want to come by? Yeah, you got
Yes,
anyone who
I
wants.
love the right stuff.
We got passes for The Right Stuff. We're gonna hang out. It's free on YouTube. Everyone should be able to watch it. I don't like when America takes a black eye, and I can't change what happened, but I can put up a W on my channel for America. So let's go to space and have some Beeman's chewing gum.
Do you want to know what was my first line spoken on this channel?
Got a stick of Beeman's.
Oh no, it was
What?
my name, Jose Jimenez.
I love the right stuff. We have to remember the sacrifice of the American heroes who went into space for the good of all mankind. And I'll be parochial and patriarchal enough to say for all mankind. They did it for all of us. They're heroes to science and to the United States. Hail to the crew of the
It-
Challenger. Hail to the crew of the Columbia. Hail to Gus Grissom and his crew.
Indeed. Deleted scene. When and where can we find you?
All right. Well, you can find me tomorrow night at 8:30 for the next episode of Live from Sparkwood and 21. It is a Twin Peaks retrospective series, co-hosted by Troy Pacelli, Netters Network, and Aged Boomer. And we are going to be watching episode 5 of season 2, entitled The Orchid's Curse. And then you can find me Thursday night at 11:30 for a show that I call The Weekend Update, which is my opportunity to touch base with my subscribers, see what's on their mind, let them know what I got coming up. Let's see. Oh, but before that, though, I'm busy. Before that, on Thursday at 3 p.m. over on Jedi Bill's channel, Action Theater, we are going to be watching Face Off.
Okay.
John Woo film with John Travolta and Nicolas Cage from 1997. And Sunday for Western Cinema Presents, and we're going to be watching Maverick, the James Garner and Mel Gibson.
Yes. Oh, that is a nice one.
And then,
Okay.
yeah. So that's what I'm going to be doing this weekend.
Good. For in this channel tomorrow, we're going to bring you up Morning Coffee with the Chief. We're going to be talking about this 1977, I think, movie, The Quar Boys. It's a drama comedy about policemen, and it's a good movie. You should definitely come tomorrow at 10 a.m. Central Time, Standard Time, and watch this Morning Coffee with the Chief. Anima, any
Yes.
words before closing the show?
No, I've said it all.
Okie dokie. Well, to our lovely audience, thank you once again for being here with us and having a good time. And we will be here waiting for you every day in the morning.
Have
So
a
Hit those
wonderful
like and follow
Monday.
buttons.
remember
And hail
to
to
click
Joe's
the like
atmosphere,
button.
my buddy.
Hell yeah. Oh, and with that, see you